Drink it in, man.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Cornbread! Cornbread! Cornbread!
Drink it in, man.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Cornbread!
Detroit Koolaid, Detroit Koolaid drinkers. What's going on, everybody? This is the Detroit Koolaid Cast with their host, Eric Oakrey, and you could tell I'm fired up. The Lions, our Lions, have won 3 games in a row. Let me pour everybody a glass real quick.
Drink it in, man.
Side of cornbread.
Cornbread!
Make it a double.
Cornbread!
And actually, I'd like to make it a triple.
Cornbread!
Because today, we got a special guest on the show. He's never been on the show before. He knows football. He loves the Lions. He came in big on the Kool-Aid hotline right away. I hit him with the nickname Cornbread Jerry from North Carolina. He's nice enough to come on and talk ball with me and drink some Detroit Kool-Aid. So, Cornbread, I think you're there. Are you ready to roll, my man?
I am here, Oakley. Glad to be on here with you and all the Kool-Aid drinkers out there.
Man, this is going to be great. I appreciate having you on. You always are calling up, all the different local radios. You're always hitting me up with Lions content. I'm like, let's just get him on the pod and talk some ball. So, Jerry, as I say, we can't mess around. Let's get right into this. Let's talk about this Lions-Giants game that just went down. Like, some of the big points I took out of this thing, man, was Aleem McNeil finally showed up big. I mean, Big Mac, Big Plump, Twinkle Toes, Honey Bun, the Mac, whatever you want to call this guy. He was all over the football field making plays. That was tremendous to see, don't you think?
Oh, my gosh. Big Liam, he was dominant. I mean, it's hard to believe. We all like Aleem McNeil, but that was one of the great games by a defensive tackle, like, ever. I'd seen something like 10 QB pressures this guy has. It's like a PFF record for a guy at 320 pounds or greater since they've been keeping stats since like 2006 or something like that. So that's just insane. I mean, you think there's Aaron Donald out there, but not even he did what Aleem McNeil did against the Giants last week.
Absolutely incredible. And this guy hadn't been feeling up the stat sheet. I mean, he'd been 1 tackle, an assist. He'd not get in the backfield like we hoped. And then he just shows up extra big. We need more of that from Plump. Thank you, Choppy. So I thought that was big. And Cornbread, talk to me about swag. Jamal Williams, 3 touchdowns. I mean, this guy's automatic in short yardage. This guy's a goal line monster. I mean, we already knew that, but he came up extra large in this game as well.
I know he's another one that, he's doing some things we haven't seen happen in Detroit in a very, very long time. 3 TDs. Last guy to do it, I believe, was Barry Sanders. I mean, this guy's just a goal line vulture right now. 12 TDs this year. I mean, it's just insane. The guy might get 1,000 yards. There's no way going into the season I thought Swag was going to get 1,000 yards. I figured Swift would be the bell cow, although with the injuries that he has, it's hard to count on him as a bell cow, but that was the hope anyway. But thank goodness Jamal's been stepping in and getting the job done.
So overperformed. He's the vocal leader. He's a little crazy, I must admit, but in a good way. He's our crazy crazy person, just like Jim Harbaugh is my crazy coach. But gosh, he's just been so consistent. So he had the 1 fumble, which was a killer. We're not gonna forget totally about that, but he's just done so many other things so well, so all year long that you just cannot. I mean, I don't even blink when they give him the football. We know we're getting 4 or 5 a crack. We know we're scoring inside the 5. I mean, just love what he's doing. So another huge game for him, and just being so productive down there where sometimes we had stalled out in the past or we try to get too cute. Like, just smashing people in the mouth is incredible to watch. I wanted to ask you about how this defense has kind of flipped the script and just sort of went from just the worst ever to 3-4 games in a row now, just playing incredible. I mean, they were able to stop Saquon Barkley. Like, this guy is top rusher in the league. We hold him like 22 yards on 18 runs. I mean, that was unbelievable for me to watch from this defense. Again, stepping up.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. I mean, I got Barkley on a fantasy team, for instance. This guy's been killing it all year, and I hold him to 1.5 yards per carry, no touchdowns. It was amazing, you know, the way some of these quarterbacks have been running on them. And the other teams, really, we were one of the worst, if not the worst. I think we were the worst run defense in the league going into the game, and they just completely snuffed out everything he was doing. It was unbelievable. Definitely the key to the game. The secondary, you're talking about how this defense has been stepping up. The secondary, Jerry Jacobs coming in there has been a big upgrade, I believe, on that one outside spot. I like the way he presses up on these guys with him and Okudah. On the outside, Will Harris has been more than respectable in that nickel slot, being kind of like a big nickel, as I think Hemmel called it the safety position last year. It's been really gelling really well here in the past few weeks.
All good points by you, Cornbread.
Cornbread!
I love what Jury is doing. That's JUUURRYYY. You know, he's just a dog out there, DAWG. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I mean, we know Will Harris is going to get beat 2-3 times a game, but he will come up and hit you in the mouth. He will tackle you. He tries hard. I think one of my guys, when they took him, who totally has let me down, but he's redeeming himself a little bit. And you got the curb stomp back there making picks. You got Hefe playing good, even though he went down with the injury. Like, that whole back half has just flipped it. And Cornbread, I know nobody wants to hear about my fantasy team, but I've got quads in almost every league that I'm in that means anything to me. He totally let me down. You want to know what else happened, Cornbread? I was playing against Jamal in a few leagues. I was playing against Kelsey in a few leagues. I was playing against Amari Cooper in a few leagues, and it cost me big. I mean, it's just every week with this garbage that I just get put up against these guys that have the week of their life. I mean, it's unbelievable to me. So that's neither here nor there. Let's keep it rolling. I just want to hit on this point. I feel like the Lions played solid in all facets again. Like, this is multiple games in a row, multiple efforts against decently good football teams or on the road where offense has been solid, hasn't turned the football over. Defense has stepped up. Special teams is good. Like, that's just fun to watch for a fan and for that team in general, to see all avenues just playing good, solid, consistent ball.
Yeah, I mean, and they talk about it all the time. Campbell always talks about complementary football, and that's really a lot of what we've seen the past few weeks. Good complementary football, and then this week against the Giants, it was really the total package from offense to defense to the special teams. Just putting it all together, and really, after the first quarter, it was tight, but man, we kind of opened it up in the second quarter, and it was just eerily comfortable watching the Lions versus the Giants this week. It's just like it just never felt in doubt, you know.
That is a great point by you, because I was sitting in this ball game in the second quarter, third quarter, early fourth quarter. I gotta admit, I was on my phone. I was looking at other things, and I'm like, this game felt like it was in the bag. I mean, I know we got our SOL people who are worrying for the sky to fall, or were thinking the worst was going to happen. This was a very easy coasting to this victory. Cornbread Jerry, Jared Goff looked like a pro quarterback.
Woo! Hashtag choppy likey.
He threw a few actual tight spirals with velocity. Woo-wee! I mean, this is just unbelievable. Chops is just having the day of his life. He actually called me the other day, was like, hey, can I get on the pod? I'm like, sorry, I already got a better guest than you. So he got booted so he could keep you on, but he wanted to talk about golf for 30 minutes. I said, no, I can't have it this week. I'm sorry. I got a great guest from North Carolina. He's going to be on. He's just going to blow it out of the water. So we booted him so he couldn't do this all day. But he was definitely doing that when JG16 was making plays. And this is the last thing I want to say. This game not only was never close, but I just think it was one of those games that was like we don't always need these thrillers that come down the end. We don't need the late comebacks. We don't need to have a lead and then almost lose it at the end. Like, beat a team down, take your W, tell them to get off your field, and move on to the next one. Don't you think? That was great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I got a lot of gray hairs on my head because of the Lions over the years in these close games, hoping they're going to come back. Please don't lose the lead here at the end. You know, I've seen a lot of that in my lifetime. It's good to have a game like this. They have been few and far between over the years. So I like what I saw this Sunday, and I'd love to spend the last 23 years of my fandom watching more games like that.
Cornbread, have a little of that Detroit Kool-Aid. Calm down, would you?
Drink it in, man.
You can't be one of these nervous Nelly, one of these people that always, woe is me, because 10 years ago we lost the game in the fourth quarter. It's definitely going to happen in 2022. That's garbage. We don't have that on this pod. We are always positive. We're drinking Kool-Aid. We're having cornbread, as you would know, and we are being optimistic about our football team. I mean, we're only good things to come, and when it doesn't, we get through it. We're diehard Lions fans, man. That's the only way to be. That way we can be at the parade and know we're always with this team, not the people that hated on them for years and then showed up with their T-shirt hat. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I'm with you. My Kool-Aid pitcher is always half full, but it's been spiked at times.
Drink it in, man.
I'm feeling it again, Jerry. I mean, come on now. Okay, let's we got so much to get into. I want everybody to just drink in this pod. We're going to get Cornbread's thoughts on the Lions' future quarterback situation. We got to get our great sponsors in here after the break. I want to hear his grandiose big plan about this football team. I want to know how Cornbread Jerry is going to put it together and get us to the promised land. I might fight him on both those topics as we get going. And then we got to preview Turkey Day, Cornbread Jerry. I mean, big game. I mean, by the time people are hearing this, the game's going to be the next day. People are going to be eating themselves to death. I mean, this is just a great time of year, not only for Lions fans, but people in general. So let's keep this rolling, man. We got so much to get into. So I just mentioned Jared Goff. I mean, everyone's got an opinion. I mean, I think we need to move on. I think that he can't throw. Chops thinks he's going to have a gold jacket and has put a bust up in his front yard. Other people they hate him, and now he's just, hey, let's keep him. He's playing good ball. I want to know from you, what's your plan at the quarterback position? Lay it out for me.
Well, I mean, as far as Goff goes, to me, he's a guy you can win with, but he's not a guy you win because of. You know, I mean, this week he's 165 yards passing, but no picks, So we're like, okay, we can live with that, right? We won the game. He was efficient, but are we going to win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff? The Rams didn't think so, and I don't think so either. So I mean, the way I see this thing going down, it's not only what I think I would do, but I have a feeling this is what the Lions are going to do, something similar, because, going into the season, the cap situation, we're kind of bumping up against it to begin with. So if you've noticed throughout the early season here, they did a restructure on Decker to open up a little bit of cap space. Mm-hmm. He signed through 24, and that's fine because he's under a good contract. I like Taylor Decker. He's going to be a good player for the Lions through 24. They also restructured Michael Brockers. I don't think Michael Brockers is going to be on the team next year. I think he's a guy that's going to be released. That's $4 million dead cap space, but the guy would have made $13 million if you keep him on. The only other guy that's got a lot of money they could restructure, but they didn't touch, was Jared Goff. And I think it's for a reason. I mean, this guy is going to have basically between his base salary and bonus, $30 million is his cap hit next year. If you release or trade the guy, you're going to have just a $10 million, cap hit. So you're going to save $20 million if you can trade or release Jared Goff. So to me, I think that's the move I think the Lions may make, and I think it's a move that I could get behind if they do. There's some cheaper bridge quarterbacks out there, and that's kind of what I see Jared Goff as is a bridge quarterback to, whatever rookie or something we can acquire. You can get a guy like, say, a Teddy Bridgewater. He's making $6 million a year. He's going to be a free agent. Case Keenum makes $4 million. Andy Dalton, $3 million. You can save $15 million and have one of these guys that may be a step down from Goff, but is it that big of a step down? None of those three guys nor Goff is going to win the Super Bowl, So to me, I would make that move, free up the cap space, and then, you got Bryce Young, Will Levis, C.J. Stroud coming out in this draft, and I like all three, to be honest with you. I could see any of them in a Lions uniform working with one of those cheaper bridge quarterbacks. And truth be told, I mean, there's also, you could look at the Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murrays of the world. Those could be up for trade. We got a lot of draft capital. There's a lot of things the Lions can do at QB moving forward.
All right, so Cornbridge area, this is kind of where the pleasantries stop, because I let you go there. I gave you some room. You laid it out. I've heard you say this on other shows. I don't know why you're calling these other shows, why you're not calling it the Koolaid Cast. That's neither here nor there. I don't like this plan at all by you. First of all, Jared Goff, if anything's the bridge quarterback. What are we going from bridge to bridge? How long are we going to have a bridge? So that's my first problem. Second problem, Teddy Bridgewater, Mr. White Gloves, hamburger helper out there. This guy's already shown what he can do in the league. It's very marginal at best. Oh, wow, he can come in for a game or two. Great. No, that's not what we need. The fact that you uttered the word Kyler Murray on this show, Corn, I should throw you off right now. I should just ban you from the show. I just can't believe you said that. But here, I'm going to say this now for the people. Hold on. We got a bit for that here on the show, Jerry. Hold on. I got it here somewhere. Where is it? I mean, I got to say this for the people.
And the people consist of the millions.
Like, I'll never disown my Detroit Lions, but I swear, if Kyler Murray is ever the quarterback of the Detroit Lions, it is going to, that's the one thing. That or Smug. If they were ever to put him or Smug as my quarterback, that's going to be real hard, Cornbread. So, but I don't even want to think about, I don't want to talk, I can't believe you even brought it up. Lamar, I'm down with. I don't like the price tag. My thing with the quarterback, like I said, Jared Goff to me, as much as I hate on him, as much as I want to draft a stud, as much as I can't watch some of his wobbly ducks sometimes, I think he's not only played fine, he says everything right. Like, I'm in the mode of, the Lions have set this up perfectly because they can just roll with the punches. Like, if there's a guy there they love in the draft, they can take him. If the draft falls badly for them, we love Jared Goff. We can't wait to have him back in 2023. If a free agent comes along they can pick up that's better, hey, Jared Goff, we'll see you later. If no one does, man, Jared Goff, we can't wait to get back rolling with you next year. Like, I just think it sets up so well. They really cannot lose with the situation, and the way he's playing right now, what he's saying, like, I'm kind of totally cool to just roll with it until a better solution comes. And, like, I know the cap situation, as you said, is kind of marries up nicely, but even if worst case, if they got to keep him and pay him the 30 and they add to the roster and then move on the year following, I think we're totally good. So no to Teddy Bridgewater, no to Taylor Hine, none of these other guys coming in for 10, 12 million, because by the time you do the math, you pay them 10, you got 10 for Goff, gets 20, and then your backups, like, we might as well just roll with 16 at that point. So that's where I'm at with quarterbacks, man.
Well, I don't know. See, I'm seeing Bridgewater now making 6. If you I'm thinking you get at least $13 million in savings on Teddy Bridgewater, who's
not good.
To me, not that. No, he's not that good. I agree with you there. But I'm just looking for a guy that's going to get us some time for one of these young guys that there's bound to be somebody good sitting there at that Rams pick, the way things are going right now.
There will be, but the best scenario, even though the price tag's a little bit higher, is if you had to keep Goff and you take a stud with that Rams pick, you got a year of time to just sort of let that happen then. Or if the guy's so great, you can probably move on from Goff whenever you want. But we don't want to start over with another new random slum guy just because he's cheaper. I mean, we either get our stud or we roll with 16. For a little longer.
I think someone like a Bridgewater would come in and sign realizing, hey, I'm the bridge. I don't think Goff thinks he's a bridge or would really take too well or perform well when a rookie gets drafted.
I don't think so either, but
he just don't kind of strike me as that kind of guy.
I don't know, man. I don't want to fight you on this, but again, Bridgewater's not good. He's not the ultimate answer. He's been a bridge everywhere he's went, and then that bridge has crumbled. So, no, I just think, I agree with your last point, though. Like, yeah, I don't think Jared Goff is this ultimate mentor. I don't think he would love the young cat breathing down his neck. But, hey, the Lions don't seem to care. They've set themselves up for a catbird situation, a wait and see, hold tight, we'll figure it out later. Hey, you're our guy until you're not. So let's just roll with that and see what they do. But I'm all for drafting a real stud. I just don't know who they want, who will be there. But I'm on that train, and like if they can't happen, then I'm starting to warm up to having JG16 Chops' guy that he has a poster on his wall back, because he does enough to win, and he also says all the right things, and players seem to somewhat buy into his game. So he's got a lot of things that you have to like across the board as well, other than the wobbly spiral. So Cornbread, like we could go on and on about the quarterbacks forever. I think your approach is unique. I don't agree with it, as you could tell, but I think the Lions have really set themselves up nicely to play this out well as make a good decision when it's right for the future. And they kind of got their butts covered in the meantime, too. So I like that from Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, and company for sure. So let's do this. You already kind of laid out some of your plan, but let's get our great sponsors in here. We come back. I kind of want to know more about who you might be, getting rid of, what you want to do in the draft. We'll just lay out some broad strokes there, and then we got to talk Buffalo Bills, man. You ready to get into all that?
Let's do it.
Everybody, we'll be right back. All right, everybody. This goes out to my fantasy football fans out there. Now, you probably heard about Reality Sports Online, the most powerful fantasy sports platform where owners can build and manage their fantasy team like a real NFL general manager. But the question is, have you tried it? I mean, we're talking free agency, multi-year contracts, rookie drafts, multi-team trades. You can put franchise tags on guys. It's as close as you're going to get to being an NFL GM. But do you think it sounds complicated? It's not. I'm here to tell you it's the best thing about Reality Sports Online is it's just more fun than your normal fantasy league, but it doesn't take barely any more time. After all this, are you still not sure? I mean, come on now. You can test your general manager skills by going over to Reality Sports Online, call it RSO. Please go check out realitysportsonline.com right now. All right, Kool-Aid drinkers, we're back from the break. Thank you so much for listening to our great sponsors, as well as checking in on the show. I'm honored to have the one and only Cornbread Jerry from North Kakalaki on the show. He's bringing the knowledge, nice enough to spare some of his time to talk Lions ball with me. So great to have him on. Cornbread. Let's hear this. Let's hear off-season plans. And I know you could get into Michael Brockers. No one cares about him. I know you could talk about like the fifth linebacker. We don't care. What I want to know is we got 2 first-round picks. We got a second rounder. We got a third. We got all these draft capital for getting rid of T.J. Hockenson. Like, we're loaded up. Brad Holmes is sitting at home rubbing those big meat hooks together, just looking at his draft board. I want to know, in broad strokes, what are you doing in the draft and what are you doing in free agency? What positions are you attacking? Cornbread, are you these people that just say, well, just draft all defense and then we'll be good? Or are you like, I need more skill players. That's how you win. Or are you going to go out big in free agency and spend money? Or are you going to be a frugal penny pincher and be like, we can never overspend on anyone because I'm the perfect GM? Lay it out for me, bro.
I tell you, I have, been following very hard what Brad Holmes has been doing and the way he's been kind of putting things together through the draft. I've really agreed with the approach, although it's a patient approach. I know a lot of folks early on were just 1-6 start people were already just counting them all out. They're ready to fire Campbell. They're ready to fire Holmes. But I understand the plan. I know you understand the plan. You see it. And I agree with what they're doing. The Lions haven't won a NFC North division since Tampa Bay has won the NFC. So it was called the Central back then. That's crazy to me. So, it's a little too far for that now this season. We're fell too far behind Minnesota. But I look at the team and I'm always wondering who's going to be on this team when we do win the NFC North division. And a lot of them are guys. Luckily for us, first, second year players are going to be under team-friendly contracts for a long time. From offensive line, we got Sewell, Ragnow, Jonah, Decker, Saint and J-Mo. Thank goodness J-Mo is getting ready to hit the field. That's going to be so exciting. Hutch, Elaine, Pascal, Rodrigo, Barnes, Akuda, Jerry, Tracy, Kirby. I mean, this is a lot of guys I think is going to be on this roster when we win a division championship. So, I mean, heck, even Fox and the Money Badger. I mean, special teams shaping up. So, really, I think the big gaping hole is at quarterback, like we just discussed. I almost think I would give up extra draft capital just to make sure we get the guy that we want to get. Holmes is going to identify a guy, and I think you do what you got to do to get that quarterback. Because other than that, I think you're just supplementing some of these spots. Maybe another corner because that AO drop you got, I love it, but I don't think you're going to be using it after this year because I don't think he's going to be back. You're going to need another corner, some depth there. I think another safety would be nice to have for anything, depth purposes, because I think Tracy and Kirby is going to be a good duo back there. Another linebacker, defensive line. I mean, it's really depth mostly. A stud running back. I know we love Jamal. And Swift, he can bring it for short spurts, but, man, a big 3-down back who does it all. A Swift-type guy that can stay on the field, stay healthy, that would be good. And now tight end's kind of a need again as well, although the way they built this offense and the way they utilize the tight end, I think the Hawk deal was a good deal because they don't utilize that position like some other teams do anyway. I mean, you're going to be third fiddle to Amon-Ra and J-Mo anyway, so you might as well save some money at that position. But other than quarterback, I'm looking for just, some depth to go with some of the studs we've already acquired the last couple of years.
All right, Cornbread, hold on, let me do it this way.
Cornbread!
Gary, listen up.
Cornbread!
Gary. Like, let me tell you where you went wrong here. You hit on a lot of topics there. You're correct that this drop is fading.
Oh, baby!
I don't know if we'll ever use this version ever again.
Oh, baby!
But I know that we'll be using this quite often.
Unleash Hutch.
The new and improved Unleash Hutch. We also might be using this, Cornbread. Rodrigo. That was the drop version. Here's the real version. Rodrigo. That was me. Here's the drop. Rodrigo. Me again. Rodrigo. I think we're going to be using those quite a bit on the show. I think we'll be saying this when J-Mo is catching deep balls. I think we'll be using that. I think when this offense gets cooking, I might need to use Dan Miller a little more.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Which I don't mind doing. The best announcer in all of sports. I mean, Chops' hashtag will get used as this team continues to grow.
Woo! Hashtag Choppy Liking.
But Corbin, here's where you went wrong, man. You danced around, you hit on every position, you want to fix everything, you want to get rid of everybody that's not good, you want to, upgrade every spot. We only have limited resource. So what I was asked is we got the couple first rounders. Let's look at rounds 1 through 4. That's where you got to get starters. That's where you have to get developmental talent that can play. And I feel like Brad Holmes is going to do so. So I'm not one of these people. Again, I'm sorry if I tried almost like a North Carolina accent there. Let me do my SOL accent.
Hello, Cree. I think if we just drafted from rounds 1 till 7 defense, everything would be fixed.
That's so stupid. Anybody that says that's just ridiculous. Like, have you ever seen a team ever go in the draft and just take all one side of the ball? No, because that makes no sense. Yeah. No, it happened maybe where some went heavy, but don't give me like the Carolina Panthers they don't count. Yeah. I know where you're going, Corn. Nope, I'm throwing that out.
Carolina, right? Yeah.
Yes,
they did it, and it didn't work.
That's one time. We're throwing that out because what you do is you let the draft board fall to you. So if a stud on offense falls and he's the best player, you take him. If a defensive stud falls to you in 4 straight rounds, you take them. So what I was trying to get to with you is like, if we're going to really rebuild this team, you not only have to take that approach, you got to get blue chippers. So I don't want these people that, we have to only, you focused on the quarterback. I agree. Quarterback is the most important position in all of sports. It's the thing that will take the Lions over the top. But I'm not sitting there in rounds 1, 2, or whatever and saying, in one of these rounds or with one of these picks, I have to take quarterback. It's on my to-do list, if it makes sense. So I think the biggest thing to get this team over the hump is to have an open approach, as they've kind of had to now. You use the word patient. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's been open. Hey, we like this guy. He's a ball player. He's gritty. He's a grimy player. He fits what we do. Take him. I feel like if they continue that type of approach, instead of filling needs or reaching or taking these, I feel like we don't have any players barely anymore that have those off the field issues. Don't love football, in the police blotter all the time. We get ball players, and I think that's what's going to put this team over the top. Yeah. So my approach wouldn't be like adding certain things. It would be adding the best players possible, and then in free agency, break out the checkbook a little bit. I could use another. Even though I like Jury, Jurryy, I could use another top corner. I could use a smash mouth safety. I could use another linebacker, even though 97 won the ticket. That's all they talk about, right? There's a lot of those key spots that we could add. And then on offense, I feel like we're cooking pretty much. Like I'm not looking to add too much, but if someone falls to me, even if it's not at a position of need, if they're that good, I'm willing to take them. So I feel like your approach is good, but it's a little too broad. You're getting too many positions. Like I think we just focus on that approach, which is like, instead of focusing on, I need a backup, a middle linebacker, be like, let's see who's out there in free agency. Let's see how the draft board falls and just get great football players at great value. And this team's going to shape up really nice.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, really. I think other than I would maybe put a package together to get that QB because I think it's sorely needed. But after that, really, I'm with you. You let the board fall, and you take the best player available within reason. I think this year when they took Pascal, for instance, I wasn't prepared for that, but I was like, okay, makes sense. That year they took Liam and Levi back to back. I wasn't expecting it, but that's the best guy on your board. I'm all for it because there's plenty, whether it's depth, starters, whatever. You can plug some spots in really all over the team, but the big need is the quarterback.
The other thing is like you can get excited about a player, but don't write people off and don't put them in the Hall of Fame after like 2-3 games, right? Like just because you didn't see Pascal, he was no good. Then you saw him play for 2 games, everyone loved him. Now he's out again. Oh, he must not be good again. Like you gotta. I mean, again, I like to pump people up. I like to get excited about our football team, but there's a certain patient approach or let it play out that you have to really support your team and let these players grow. I mean, a guy can be good in years 2 or 3 who was horrible in year 1. It's happened many a time. So let me ask a couple pointed questions before you roll into this Bills game. are you taking the 2 first rounders and targeting a guy and jumping up, or do you like just sitting there and taking 2 really good players, quarterback or otherwise? It sounds like you want to jump up, Cornbread.
I would. If Holmes identifies a guy that they're dead set on, do what you got to do to get him. I like Will Levis a lot. I know his stats don't look that great, but just watching the guy, I mean, he looks like an NFL quarterback. What, just a huge gun. The guy's got some mobility to him, you know.
I like all his tools. Like about him. I like all his tools and his size for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Bryce Young, I know you love Bryce Young, and I do too. Other than his size, the guy's got it all. Great poise, mobility. And C.J. Stroud's another one. He's got the size, got the arm strength. I hate that he goes to Ohio State, but it is what it is, you know. if when he's a Lion, it won't matter no more to me.
Oh, Cornbread, that's a second foul for you here on the show. I got to hit you with another strike. I may hit on that school that we shall not speak of at some point during the show. So you're going to
talk. I didn't say baseball this time, though.
You're pushing it now, buddy. All right. So if you're taking your 2 first rounders and you're taking Will Levis in the perfect scenario, are you just booting Goff at that point? You're like, okay, I got Will Levis, Goff, you're cut. I'll figure out something and I'll roll into 2023 with my rookie and your double bridge. Is that's kind of your plan then?
Yeah, I don't know that Goff is going to take to being a bridge guy. It's pretty obvious when you jump up and take a quarterback what the future beholds. You know, that guy's going to be starting maybe as early as your bye week that year, Thanksgiving probably at the latest when you take a guy that high. You know, again, I'd save the $15 million or so and get a Bridgewater.
Oh man, you're just pounding the pavement on that, man. You're just never gonna let that die. I'm gonna hold you to that. I think I've always been a proponent of, if you're gonna take a QB, like the best way to get him out there, especially when you have a pretty good O-line and pretty good skill guys and a younger defense, is let him get out there and figure it out. You know, I'm not for just babying him along, and when he's ready, he'll be ready when he gets out there and takes some lumps and sees the speed, and then he'll start to play ball. And like I say, I like Levis's size. I think there's gonna be options there. You know, I don't think you would even have to really package up. I think you could get a really good ball player. I'm more of a proponent because I'm with you that QB is my biggest thing. So I'm not a proponent of, well, like, let's wait. let's instead of at pick 6 with the Rams, let's skip our quarterback and maybe one will fall to us at 15. No, like, you just take your guy. You know what I mean? So I'm with you on that portion of it. Let me throw one other quick thing at you. Like, we haven't had a good tackling run sideline to sideline backer in a long time, since DeAndre Levy, since, you know, Stephen Tulloch, who actually played a little bit until he decided to celebrate and blow out his ACL. Like, are you a proponent of all of paying a Roquan Smith if he was to be available, or are you just like, no, linebackers are like running backs to me?
Well, the Lions really only utilize 2 linebackers. So no, I don't think I would think that many resources, especially not that kind of money. But we got plenty of money. I guess you could if you wanted to. But to me, that position, the way the Lions' defense is, it's more of a 4-2 almost, you know,
I feel
so
like
for that reason alone, I wouldn't sink that many resources into it.
I feel like you're right there, not only because of the scheme, but the longevity of the position. And, like, I like Roquan Smith as a player. I mean, he's a good leader. He's a good football player. He's intense. But, like, I think people just fall in love with linebackers because if they're real good and you accentuate them on your defense, you see them a lot. You know? Oh, wow, he's there making a play. Oh, he blitzed there. You know, they notice him more. But the money is still at the defensive end position, you know, the outside corners, a ball hawking safety like Kerbo. So I think that they're spending the money in the right spots, and I wouldn't be just latching on to this, we need the middle linebacker captain of the defense like in the 80s. I mean, that seems to be past, if you ask me. So I'm kind of with, you know, your plan. I think we're on the same page of just go get talent. I do think this team is not only close. It's funny how everyone was just ready to blow everything up, and now everyone's more on the page of, wow, look at this young talent. Look at, where we have certain positions covered. Look at these guys coming into their own. Like, I think that's another thing of just letting the draft play out, letting guys develop, knowing where to spend your money, where to spend your picks. So I think that it's coming together really nice. Even the offensive side of the ball, I'm like, where am I going to spend picks or free agent dollars? Like, I feel pretty good everywhere. And feel like even if you take the DJ Charks and people off this team, it's like, hey, I still think we're going to have a nice offense without adding anything. And then anything we add is just going to make it even bigger and better, which is great. I think that you can win in this league by just getting dominant skill players and having a marginal defense. You can also win with having a beast of a D and a middle of the road offense. You can't have a horrible offense, I don't think, in today's game. So, Cornbread.
Yeah.
How about thanks?
Real quick.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Derek. Just real quick. One thing, a dominant offensive line. That's something that they have, and you see that even when you kind of lack in some of those skill positions, a dominant offensive line can do a lot of things for you. When you keep Jared Goff upright, unrattled, when he's not rattled, he is solid. It's when he gets rattled that he just does crazy stuff.
Right.
But we're running the ball almost no matter who's back there. It don't matter. Justin Jackson, DeAndre Swift, Craig Reynolds, they're all running the ball, So I like that they have the dominant offensive line, and I hope that's something that they continue to do throughout this regime.
One other thing for the people.
And the people consist of the millions.
You guys know the rest. For years, everyone said, if we could just have a dominant O-line, that'd be great. And I agree with you. I feel like they have that now, which is turning out to be great. You've had certain people, fans, that'll be like, I love a monster defense. I mean, we had a good defense, in 14 or whatever, when we made a little bit of a run. That was fun to watch. We also tried to go crazy back in the early 2000s on offense by getting wide receiver and then another wide receiver. Like, that didn't pan out, but I guarantee you if we're scoring 30, 40, kind of like we've been doing in these games this year and winning, people will love the offense, right? It doesn't have to be this Detroit grit, grime, smash. It could be high flying, and people would love it. They just want to win games. So you can build your team all types of ways. And my other thing with the O-line is it's good now, and you don't want to hurt it, but I think you can't be scared to tweak it as you go. Like, I wouldn't be a proponent of making a move to move Penny to the left before it gets too late in his rookie contract. Like, I think you can add guards that could help you. You can add a right tackle at the right price and kind of retool on the fly, which is what I hope they do to keep it good, not just be good for the next couple of years, but be good for, a good handful of years or more by sliding a couple guys, adding here, making a good pick here in the late rounds. That's really how you got to do it long term. So, Cornbread Jerry, I think we got a good, young, nasty team. I think we're winning ball games. I think we're heading into Thanksgiving against the Buffalo Bills with a lot of mojo. I feel like this is a real tough matchup. I got a quick rant because I hear you going on 97.1. You're calling up Dan Miller on Lions Review. Like, the thing I hate about our local radio is, first of all, they hate our teams, which is crazy to me. Like, these radio stations pay your bills and you hate our teams. That makes no sense. Second thing is, like, they always raise the bar. They'll be like, oh, the Lions are going to have the first pick. Then we beat Green Bay. And it's like, oh, well, you got lucky against Green Bay. You can't go on the road and win. You go on the road and beat the Bears. And that's like, oh, well, you won a couple, big deal. There's no way you'll go into New York and beat the Giants. They're 7-2. We beat the Giants. You know what I had to hear all week heading into this Thanksgiving game? Oh, well, I mean, gosh, now this isn't real unless you beat Buffalo. If you don't beat Buffalo, what does it mean? It's so stupid because you can always keep raising the bar just so that you can wait for the team to fall under it so you can say, see, told you, when really this team's shown ton of progress. 3 wins is great. Like, what do we have to win the rest of our games in the schedule after that to make some of these guys happy? Everybody out there listening knows who I'm talking about. Always raising the bar, always negative, always saying, well, I know they did that, but they got to do this to prove it to me. They got to win this. They got to win a playoff. Until they win a Super Bowl, I'm not going to, like, really buy in, or they haven't shown me anything. This is complete garbage, Cornbread. I feel like this is a tough matchup against Buffalo. It's a big game. Ford Field's going to be crazy. And I need a breath because I'm out of breath. I'm a little fired up if you can't tell. So I'm going to kick it to you to kind of tee up Buffalo, Thanksgiving, Ford Field, 12:30 Thursday. What do you got?
Oh, yeah. Thanksgiving, man. The most glorious holiday of all because you got food and you got Lions football. It's something being here in North Carolina like I am. It's before Sunday ticket. This is about the only game I get to see. So I was always excited about Thanksgiving. But I tell you what, when the Lions were 1-6, I thought the future was bright no matter what they were saying on that radio station.
So why are you calling in, Cornbread? Why are you wasting your time calling these bums?
Well, because they do. They dog on them really bad when they're 1-6. But like you, we see the plan. You're building through the draft. It's going to take time. Last year was basically a teardown. This year, I'm thinking kind of like the Mayhew Schwartz era. I'm like, let's get 6 wins, right? Let's get 6, 7, 8. And then next year, what did Schwartz do? They got 10, made the playoffs. And that's kind of the progression I wanted to see. They got 1-6, and they're saying fire Campbell. I get a little fired up, I guess. When I hear that, it makes me want to.
Cornbread, these guys have this now as a must-win. This is not a must-win game on Thursday. This is I'd like to win. No. This is I'd like to play good. I don't want to get blown out. But last time I checked, Buffalo's the best offense in the game. They're the Super Bowl favorites. And I don't see many teams ripping off 4, 5, 6 in a row in the NFL.
No, you're right. And not only are they just dynamic on offense, the passing attack is just unbelievable. You got Josh Allen right now is the 3rd highest rated QB on PFF. Stephon Diggs, number 2 rated receiver. And what do we got going on this week? Jeff Okudah with a concussion out. That don't help. Jonah Jackson, I learned today, in concussion protocol, he's out. So we're dinged up. Luckily, their defense is dinged up as well. They got some guys hurt and a lot of guys out. So maybe we can get a lot of points going. But, man, I tell you what, that Bills offense is going to be mighty hard to handle this week.
Well, here's the thing. For all those radio fools out there, any of these SOLs that might be listening, I'm also not saying that this is a loss. I'm not conceding this game. I'm not sitting here boo-hooing about who we have on Thanksgiving. I'm just not buying into this raise the bar, must win. If you don't do this, it doesn't mean anything. And Cornbread, to your points about Josh Allen, the offense, this, you know what I might do to counteract that? You want to know?
What's that?
Unleash Hutch.
I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to tell the DJ that we need some music on Thursday.
Unleash Hutch.
I think that might be playing when you're creeping up on quarterback. So here's the thing. Before I kick it to you for your score prediction, you've been tremendous on the show. It's been so fun to get to know you over the last few months, talk Lions ball. I'm so thankful and grateful around this Thanksgiving for everything and for you coming on. I want to know a couple things. I want to know what's the cornbread, Jerry. I think I might know. I mean, I don't know if the name's a tip, but what's the side dish? What's the favorite side dish on Thanksgiving? And then I need to any other nuggets you have about this game. Then I need you to wrap it all up in a bundle, put it in the oven per se, and I need a score and how this game's going down from you. Do your thing.
All right. Well, first, that side dish, man, I love me some sweet potatoes. The candied, like the candy sweet potato casserole. I love that. I'll eat that up right there.
Are you putting marshmallows, cornbread? Because I don't feel like marshmallows and potatoes should go together ever.
Typically, I don't either, but on Thanksgiving, yeah, I'm all about it. You throw some marshmallows on it, I'll eat them. I ain't going to pass up them sweet taters, as we call them down here.
Okay.
Cornbread!
That must have been number 2 on the list.
As far as the game goes, like I was mentioning earlier, when they were 1-6, I thought the future was bright. This game, it's possible it could get ugly, and if it does, I'm still going to say the future's bright. I'm not going to hang everything on this game. It's going to be a really tough one. Quick turnaround. That Okudah injury is so tough in a matchup like this. I'm going Bills 31, Lions 21. on Turkey Day this year. Unfortunately, I think we're going to make some good runs after this game. I think we can finish the season really strong, but a lot to ask for this Thanksgiving.
Cornbread Jerry, did you just come on here and try to be an analyst and give me a 10-point loss for the Detroit Lions? Is that what you did?
I hope I didn't come off that way, but yeah, it's kind of what I did.
It's a bad decision. Period, point blank. It was one of the dumbest decisions I ever made.
That's what I think about that, because this is the Detroit Koolaid Cast, Cornbread.
Drink it in, man.
You should know that better than anybody. Make it a double.
Cornbread! Cornbread!
Because I'm here to tell you that this is going to be a shootout. I don't need Jeff I don't need defense. What I need is points. And I need points from 16, from number 32, DeAndre Swift. I need points from guess who's going to hit the end zone. I thought I took his sound bite off the board, but I didn't. He's going to find the end zone.
Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ,
yeah.
Go DJ.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh, I got it on repeat. DJ Chark's going to find the end zone. We're going to get it to Amon-Ra. AR, SB, Cornbread. We're going to put up 48 points on Buffalo. Buffalo's going to put up 41. It's going to be back and forth. The whole nation's going to be sitting there with turkey, with stuffing, with mashed potatoes. Stuffing's my side dish, by the way. Eating, watching the Lions go up and down the football field. Unfortunately, watching Buffalo go up and down the football field. But in the end, it'll be Jared Goff. That's right, Choppy, you know what it is. Exactly. You are going to be tweeting this soon after the game, after Jared Goff throws a final touchdown to DeAndre Swift for the game winner.
Woo! Hashtag Choppy Liking.
48-41. Lions find a way. Goff, Swift, having turkey legs, smiling, dancing in the locker room. That's how it's going down, Cornbread.
I'll tell you what. I'll be rooting for exactly that. And if that happens, we're going to talk playoffs on the next Kool-Aid Cast.
Yeah, are you talking playoffs?
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Cornbread, I can't thank you enough, man, for coming on, making time for it.
Oh, man.
Really fun to chat it up with you, man. Thanks a lot.
Great talking to you as well, man. You have a good one. Thanks, and we'll catch you next time.
Everybody, we will catch you next time, right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Take care, everybody. Wait, one more thing.
Hey, listen, Ohio State sucks.
Go Blue. We're out.
Pack the bag, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions. Drink it in, man.